Hello, one and all. Welcome to another episode of MMA Vision Analysis. This one, I'm here to talk about a fight that I did not think I was going to talk about the day after, and that's the H2O Bahdi fight that ended in that vicious knockout, arguably knockout of the year. Yes, I said it. Arguably, that was the knockout of the year. If you missed that knockout, I highly suggest taking a few seconds out of your time to go and see how Bahdi finished the undefeated H2O. But before getting started, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click that notification to get all of this that is new from this channel, your channel, the one and only MMA Vision Analysis. This fight here started right around the time that the UFC main event ended. I was very fortunate for the spectacular timing that was, because just as that UFC ended, UFC Fight Night ended with that submission win for John Judoba, fantastic UFC event, top to bottom. I said it in, talking about specific fights on that card. If you want to go check that out, you can. It's the couple of videos before this one, but that UFC event ended just in time for me to tune in to obviously the Jake Paul Mike Perry fight, because there was no way I was going to miss that. And this was the first fight that I actually started watching from that card, which was a pretty good event, in all honesty. The way that was put together, if I'm not mistaken, 17,000 plus fans, filled arena, electric atmosphere. Just the way that event was put together was it was good. You have to give it props. And I also enjoyed every bit of that. Well, as long as I was tuned in, that is. I know Uriah Hall was on that card. But here I'm talking about the H2O Bahdi fight. This was a fascinating boxing performance, and I want to touch on a couple points when it comes to this fight here. And I want to link this fight to the main event. Going into this fight, we had two fighters. One fighter out of Canada, and obviously H2O, the guy from the States, Niagara Falls, Long Beach. 30-year-old versus the 20-year-old, both undefeated fighters. This fight here had everything in boxing terms. Beginning stage of the fight, really all the way up until the knockout, H2O was just simply outclassing Bahdi, the guy that's 10 years his veteran. And it looked as if a knockout was coming for H2O himself. If not so, he was looking like he was cruising his way into a easy decision win, handing Bahdi his first loss. Like I said, beautiful show of skill from H2O. And in the latter stages of the fight, it started to become a bit of a showboat performance from H2O. In boxing, when we're talking about boxers, we have to take into consideration as MMA guys that those guys only train their hands. They're only looking for movements with their hands, right? So they have a certain way of viewing openings. And when those openings present themselves and you allow a boxer to take a clean shot at you, you're perhaps promised the same result as we saw in the fight between Bahdi and H2O. When those openings are there and shots are landed, then you're perhaps promised to see vicious knockouts. That was the case with that fight, and that was the case with perhaps many Pacquiao fights in the early 2010s. A great example, he always pops into mind. where do I make the link between this one and the Mike Perry Jake Paul fight? Obviously, Perry had the opportunities to land some shots on Jake, but unfortunately for him, they were like, with no disrespect to the BKFC champion here, but they were like, I'm not gonna go and be disrespectful. I'm just gonna say they're just not shots that were taken with technique, and even when he had the opportunity to land shots, there was no technique nor power behind those shots to truly give Jake any significant trouble. I do digress a bit, going back to the fight at hand, the Bahdi H2O fight. All throughout the entirety of the fight, as I was saying, H2O was controlling the center of the octagon. Speed, he was leaps beyond Bahdi, and it seemed like he could turn it up a notch or two if he chose to. So pretty much he had the fight in his hands all the way up until H2O got a bit too comfortable, exposed his chin to an undefeated boxer in the form of Bahdi, who did not need a second invitation. 3 shots, beautiful combination, entirety of the fight. Really, those were the cleanest shots that Bahdi was able to land. Gave the guy first loss, and really looked like it kind of changed them, because I was kind of worried about H2O. Even after he got up and started walking around, it was evident that the dude was not 100% there. I wish him and his family the best. I wish H2O fast recovery. And before his boxing career, I wish the dude got paid well from last night's outing. And I wish the dude really like recovers and like get back to the person that he was prior to this fight, because that was a brutal knockouts. And I watch knockouts fights every single week. Even the commentators hinted towards it. Shout out to Tyrone Woodley, who was part of that commentating team, as well as Errol Houani. They hinted to the fact that was going to be one of the knockouts of the year, and I kind of do agree with that. It was just clean, vicious, clinical. When the actual boxer found his openings and was able to land shots, it was just vicious. It was clinical, and it was decisive. Unlike Mike Perry in the main event, which was quite frankly embarrassing, with no disrespect to the BKFC champ here. Last night's knockout, Bahdi against H2O. If you missed that one, then I promise you missed out on, thus far, taking that Gagey knockout into consideration. This was the knockout of the year. The guy was face first onto the canvas, clean out. With that being said, I wish H2O fast recovery. I wish Bahdi the best of luck. Super excited to see what happens for this guy next, because he just gained a fan. If you made it this far, I appreciate you for sticking around. Please let me know what you think in the comments. Like, subscribe for more.